Welcome back to part 3. Now that I've cut the lightning grooves, straightened the arrow, and cut it to size, I've cut it to size in between the two videos. Now I'm working on putting the knock points in. Basically, I just sand it flat, sandpaper, and then I take a flint knife and just work it down. It's much easier to cut if you've got two flat sides than it is to try to cut on a round surface. I do the same thing with the point end. I like my arrow shafts to be tapered, and cutting saplings of dogwood, or red osier in this case, works perfect for that because it's thicker at the bottom, skinnier at the top. The arrow, on the knock point of the arrow, I like to cut one side slightly shorter than the other. I do that on purpose. And then what I do is the shorter side is the side that I use to put the cock feather on. This way I don't have to look down. I can just feel with my fingers and feel, okay, one of these sides is shorter, so that's the shorter side is the side that goes up. You can do whatever you want here. A lot of people keep them the same size. I cut my string grooves quite deep and then shorten one of the sides so that I can put my arrow through the string and onto the bow. The way I do it is kind of, here, I'll just show you. Okay, let me make sure I'm recording here. Okay, so this is how I knock my arrows, and this is why I do the short side on the cock feather side on the arrow knock. The way I put my arrow, is it in view? Is I slide it this way through the bow, and then just like that. Helps me to know which way to knock my arrow. Lightning or blood grooves in your arrow, you're going to want to go ahead and heat straighten it again, and that will crystallize the grooves and help your arrow to stay straight. Then you'll cut it to size like I've done. Then you'll cut your knock point in it like I've done. And now you can take your choice whether you want to paint the shaft, which is what I'm going to do next, or if you don't want to paint it, you can just fletch it and then put your point on, or put your point on and then fletch it. I'm going to paint it next though, so let's do that. Paint your arrows. You can use either natural pigments or acrylic paints, oil-based paints. Most of the time I just use Sharpies, permanent markers. So I usually crest my arrows underneath where the arrow fletching is going to be, and then I do some lines down the arrow, and that's about it. There is the cresting job that I do underneath the feathers. Is a finished painted arrow. And I don't do the same thing on every one of them every time. My hardwood arrow shafts, I do a little bit more work underneath the feathers than the river cane, but this is pretty much it. Now it's time to put the fletching on and put the points on, and we'll do that in the next part. So hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next part.